way the Wizards are playing. Certainly the NBA All-Star game maybe basketball fans took their minds anyway off how awful the Wizards are. Yes, let's get to Washington, D.C., NBA politicking on the backseat as we were getting ready for the big showcase event at the NBA All-Star festivities. Yes, skills competition in the books. Time to play a little basketball and show you some severe highlights. Led by Carter and Iverson, the East was, but there is Jason Kidd of the West. A nice lay-in for two. Chris Webber then lobbing it up for Kevin Garnett for the alley-oop, and then later here is the answer, bringing it up court and then flipping it to himself. Oh, nicely done with the reverse. You're going to see a lot of offense. There's no defense in the All-Star game. How about Antonio Davis of the Raptors for the jam, and then his colleague Carter driving past Kobe for the big-time bucket. And there's the reaction of Shaq and Gary Payton. What was that? Anthony Mason to Carter, this time for the tomahawk, and then with the first half winding down, Kidd will throw it up from half court, and it drops. Hey, this is the All-Star game. These guys know how to get it done from all aspects of the floor. Kobe then throwing it off the backboard to Garnett, trailing the play, big dunk, and then lobbing up for Kobe. Garnett did return the favor. In the fourth quarter, Iverson driving and, oh yes, slashing through that lane, and he gets the foul to boot. Back to Kobe we go as he will knock down this jumper to give the West the lead. Stephon Marbury takes the lead back with that three, and then Kobe to Tim Duncan, and his shot will be tipped in by, here he comes. Where is he? Oh, okay, there he is. Air Canada, yeah, East wins it. Iverson, the game MVP. 25 points, Jonathan, 27 points. Do we know the tally? 25. 25 points for Iverson. Here it is as the East take it by a single point. Just a terrific package of highlights, as always, from the NBA All-Star game. The East doing what the West did last year, so this time they redeemed themselves by taking the 50th edition. Steve?
For the third time in less than a year, Pavel Demitra is out of the lineup. First a concussion, then he was bothered by that eye injury, and now a skate to the back of his knee has left him out of the lineup for St. Louis for the next 10 to 12 days. Now the incident occurred last night in their victory over Colorado. Alex Tanguay's skate actually got him in the back of the knee. He has played only 38 games this year, but he does have 42 points. The Blues in action tonight, taking on the Dallas Stars, minus Demitra, of course, and the best two defensemen in the league in McInnes and Pronger on one team anyway. First period action, Mike Modano streaking down the wing, right in on goal, and a beautiful move to score his 18th of the year, 1-0 Dallas. Second period, Pierre Turgeon gets control of the puck here. Nice little spinorama move to get by Jamie Langenbrunner, and another fake there on Richard Matvechuk, and between the legs of Eddie Belfour. What a beauty. He's got 24. Game is tied at 1. Later on, Ladislav Nagy over to Scott Mellanby in the slot. The former Panther scores his first as a Blue. It's a 2-1 game. Later, Scott Young to Jochen Hecht on the breakaway. Oh, what a beauty that is on the backhand. And it's a 3-1 game for the German-born Hecht. He's got 15 on the year. Dallas on the power play. Hull to Sergei Zubov with a shot that's deflected in front by Joe Nieuwendyk as Roman Turek couldn't squeeze that one. And we have just got a goal moments ago to make it a 3-3 game. It looks like Sergei Zubov's 7th of the year. In fact, Scott Mellanby was in the penalty box during that goal. So now with 11:35 to go in the third, this game is all tied at 3. Lise?
All right, let's head down to Buffalo. Sabres at home to the Habs. Oleg Petrov in all alone and winning that battle with the Dominator, his 9th. Visitors on the board. Second period, Chris Taylor with the initial shot. It is stopped. Big scramble, and there's Hallinan banging home the rebound, his third. It's a 1-1. Later in that second period, Doug Gilmour from behind the net, and he is very comfortable with this line mate of his. You know who it is. It's Dave Andrzejczyk. There he is with his 12th. Buffalo back in front, 2-1. Then off the faceoff, Jason Woolley, the point shot, doesn't get through the traffic, but Václav Varada is there to bang it home. His 8th, a 3-1 for the Sabres. Montreal now on the man advantage. Stefan Robidas, point shot, is good, his 4th. And the Habs are within 1, it's 3-2. Third period, Patrick Poulin. That's off the glass. Johan Vidahall will then feed Poulin. Nicely done for his 8th, and it's a 3-3 hockey game. Then later, Saku Koivu to Poulin. Whoa. And oh my, yes, his 2nd of the night. That adds a little insurance for Montreal, his 9th, as they do indeed win away from home. 4-3 the final. Habs have now won 5 of their last 7. They now have 21 wins, make that on the season. And Gilmore's assist to Andrechuk that we showed you in the 2nd period, well, that now ties him with Brian Trottier for 12th on the all-time assist list.
Montreal trying to make the playoffs, as are the Rangers in tough, taking on Bobby Holik and the Devils. New Jersey 14-0-7 in their last 21 versus their rivals from New York. First period, great chance for Manny Malhotra, but he is denied by Martin Brodeur. Second period, Brian Leetch 2-on-1 with Adam Graves. Leetch keeping, but he rings it off the goalpost. Later, Alexander McGillney, who has been apparently banged up as of late. You know what? He looks very healthy here to me. He is denied on the backhand, slashed on the play. So the Devils would go on the power play. McGillney almost scored. Later on the ensuing power play, Theo Fleury shorthanded. 6 shorthanded goals on the year, make it 7 as he stands over Martin Brodeur. And normally we don't see stuff like that in hockey. His 30th of the year, 1-0 Rangers. Third period, Scott Stevens at the point off his wrong foot from the point. What strength that man has. Deflected twice in front, the second time by Turner Stevenson, his 6th. Game tied at 1. Third period, Radek Dvorak out in front to Jeff Almer from Wilcox, Saskatchewan, looking for his 2nd career goal, but he is denied. In overtime, Sergei Brylin, with time winding down, makes a nice move on Fleury, but time expires. The siren goes. So he should have shot earlier, or somebody should have told him the clock was expiring. This game ends in a 1-1 tie. The Rangers with the point, 10th in the East, 10 points out of a playoff spot with just 26 games remaining. The Devils now unbeaten in 22 versus the Rangers. But everybody was wondering after the game, what did Theo say to Martin Brodeur after that goal? Were you wondering that?
I was wondering it, like we all were.
Yeah, so...
Can we hear from him?
Okay, sure.
All right, he said, you lucky bugger. He says, you missed your shot. I said, yeah, well, it still went in. That's why I was laughing.
You know, we average 3 goals a game, but we give up almost 4. So you do the math. So if we can cut that down to, 1 or 2, we usually get 3. We're going to win a lot of games.
Well, Mario Lemieux was held to just 1 assist yesterday in the Penguins' 5-4 overtime victory against those Devils. And following the game, Lemieux revealed that he has been experiencing a little back pain, but it is not enough to keep him out of the lineup or to keep him at home. Lemieux traveling with his club to Minneapolis today to take on those Wild. And when you're in Minneapolis, you might run into a Hall of Famer. There he is, Kirby Puckett, donning the Wild jersey. First period. Brad Bombardier, shot is stopped by Jean-Sébastien Aubin, and Aubin 12 saves in the first, unlike yesterday when he did look shaky against Jersey. In fact, he was pulled. Here's Gaborik picking up the loose puck and feeding Jim Dowd. He scores his 6th. 1-0 Minnesota. Then later in that second period, Jaromir Jagr to Robert Long. He scores on the breakaway. That is 20 for Long, so he's in the money. It's 1-1. Then Wild on a 2-on-1. Roman Simicek to Stacy Roos. That's his 5th. 2-1 Wild. And then how about Curtis Lesishin? Just out of the penalty box, will take this feed from Antti Laaksonen, and he will score his 2nd of the campaign. A 3-1 Minnesota. What is going on here? Then off the faceoff, Ian Moran, point shot stop, but there is Long to bang home that gimme in front. His 2nd of the game, and it has the Pens within 1. But then the Wild, a 2-man advantage, and Martin Straka with the shot. Yeah, a bit of a flurry there, and finally they clear it down the ice, and the Wild do indeed pick up the W. 4-2 winners over the Penguins, so that is a terrific result, obviously, for the expansion club on their home ice. And Mario Lemieux, you don't see, do you? His name on our score sheet, and that is because he was held off it for only the second time since his return back on December 27. So that is the second time in 19 games, Steve, that he has failed to get on the score sheet, and you wonder if that back is bothering him more than he is letting up.
But since he's been back, 12-6-0-1, the Penguins are not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Next up, to the Duck Pond, where if people show up, the Ducks are excited about that. And Carolina can relate to that because they play in front of about 300 or 400 farmers in Raleigh. First period action, Tony Herkis to Teemu Selanne, and he buries it for his 21st of the year. A lot of trade rumors with the Finnish Flash. And I know in the old days, a good friend of yours, right, Lise?
He's still a good friend of mine.
Well, I don't need to talk to him much anymore, no? Maybe not. Dave Carper runs into Gurman Titov right here into the boards. Carper gets 5 for boarding, and we hate to see that. Although fans in Anaheim have been mad at Titov this year. He's had a terrible campaign. Later on, Jean-Sebastien Giguère plays the puck behind the net. It goes right to Rob DeMaio, who's got the yawning cage to make it a 1-1 game. In the third period, Carolina 5-on-3 power play. Shane Willis to Ron Francis to Rod Brindamore, who puts it in to make it a 2-1 game. But moments ago, Mike Leclerc scoring his 13th of the year, and he'd have more if he was healthy all season long. The Ducks have been banged up, so it's a 2-2 game right now. Carolina fighting for their playoff lives, so they need at least a point, maybe more in this hockey game.
Okay, let's head down to America West, the Coyotes and the Hawks. And here is Mike Sullivan, the former Calgary Flames, scoring his 4th of the season to give the Desert Dogs, as we sometimes like to call them, the 1-0 lead, as the Hawks are trying to put a positive end, and positive note is what I'm trying to say to this grueling 8-game road trip. They are ending down in the desert. By the way, we don't see Steve Sullivan scoring yet, but who knows? Maybe number 28 is coming up later in this hockey game.
Maybe we should have came in at 4.
Maybe we should have. Good point. Meantime, the Hawks will be without Alexander Karpatsev for 2 games as he was suspended by the NHL on Sunday for this elbow to the head of Matt Bradley of San Jose. Karpatsev received a 5-minute major penalty for elbowing and a game misconduct. He will lose just over $29,000 for that. And the money, by the way, it does go to an emergency assistance fund for the players.
Time for a break here on The Score. Lots more to come, including our very good friend Tim McAuliffe getting all excited. Week number 2 in the XFL. Highlights on the way.
First down, Maniacs. Play fake. Oh! Loose football! And Las Vegas has it. What a hit.
Scratching, itching, more non-contact, unlike self-control.